Okay, welcome to the first episode of the Mindset and Muscle podcast. The whole objective of me behind this podcast is to just get to meet people in the industry, people I relate with, and people I'm interested in speaking to who've got that sort of mindset connection that comes from training, hard training, and that sort of background. And the perfect person I wanted to have on first was Ali. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here. My first ever in-person podcast. So,
Same, really.
Yeah, is it the first for you as well?
I've done podcasts before, but like obviously this is my new one now. So
Yeah.
I did a podcast with Nathan, but you're like the first official person that I wanted on.
Okay. I've never been in person in a podcast. You're doing a podcast. It's always been on Zoom, which is, you know, yourself.
Zoom's not the same. Yeah.
No, it's awful. It's awful.
That's why I hate
Zoom calls. I fucking hate Zoom calls.
No one wants to watch it now neither because it's on a computer. It's boring, isn't it?
It just, yeah. Let's be honest, most of the quality's shite, and everyone does it now. Everyone does a Zoom call. Everyone their mate has a podcast now where it's the same
No
shite.
one wants to watch someone else's Zoom for 40 minutes.
No,
They don't
watch your Zoom for 40 minutes. Fucking hell. No.
But one of the reasons I wanted to get you on, and the reason you don't know why I invited you on, which you'll find quite funny, which is say for the podcast.
Okay. I like surprises. Good. I love the challenge.
This is what I mean though.
Cool.
So
I love it.
The first time I met you, I was about a year ago.
Yeah.
So I was going to train with Marcel. I was going to train legs with Marcel. And I was like, Sam, I'm going to train legs with Marcel. It's going to be a one-on-one. I was like, this is going to be sick. I get to the gym and Marcel was like, oh yeah, Ali's training with us. And I thought, fuck is Ali?
Oh, dickhead. Fucking hell. Ruined the session with something numpty.
I was like, who the fuck is Ali? And why are we doing a three-man session? And I was like, I was on it down. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, here he is now. And you walked in and you had a cauliflower ear. I was like, fucking hell, something about him. I was like, probably shouldn't piss him off. Anyway, we started training that and I was like, it's a bit yo-yo in here. And then we did a set on the leg press. And I think it was like we had like 5 20s aside and we just did like 20 reps, remember?
Yeah, I remember this.
And then we got to a set when it was like, it started to get difficult and I was like, all right, the pace is picking up a little bit here now. And then I was doing a set and then you started screaming at me. Straight away I was like, yes. I was like, one of us.
Isn't it weird how people bond of like the fucking weirdest shit? Like, because like as soon as I did that and you could see the energy from you build up, like, because when you shout at someone, some people obviously take it the wrong way. And I don't get offended by that, by the way. Like, I'm not arsed if you get offended by it. And I can tell you don't, if I shout at you and you don't upgrade to the next level, I'll back off. Like, I'm not going to be a bully. I'm not a bully. But if I see your energy increase, I know, okay, you've got this right mindset for this. You're ready to fucking go all in with it. So happy days. And like you did, you smashed it. And like,
that's rare that though. Because sometimes like, well, probably like 90% of the time I'll train with someone and like a third wheel comes in and it's just like a direct, not like it's that person's fault. It's just they're not at that 100%. Level yet and you're not like sort of relatable. So when that happened, I was like, finally, I was like, because I've been looking for that for ages.
Well, I think it's the average of the energy of the group, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, if you get everyone's energy of the group and put them together and see how high everyone's energy is, if one person's all the way down here and these two people are holding up the whole energy of the room, it's going to be a shit session because he's just a drag along. But if you have everyone that's just buzzing and shouting at each other and keeping that energy high, that's the power of like having a team to keep you accountable in this, like, you know, training.
Because when I first started training as well, though, that's what it was like. Everyone was screaming at everyone. There was like, fucking piss and sweat everywhere.
You're not allowed to shout no more. Did you not know that?
Yes. That's what Body FX was like, though. You'd go and you know you were going to war and you'd leave and you'd be like, fucking, that was heavy, that. And then as I got older and like people started going their own ways, that started like fizzling out. Yeah. And I started like trying to chase that high. Like, right, who can I train with now? Who's going to beat me? And it started getting harder and harder. People started like flaking off and it was just me training. And I was like, I'm going to have to beast myself here. And that's when I became like, just focused on my own training, doing my own shit and sort of stopped training with people because I couldn't be asked with being slowed down. Do you know what I mean?
I 100% agree.
So when you turned up, I was like, oh, it's happening again.
Yeah, well, it's 100%. No, I'm with you on that because I've been in the same position, but it's also partly to do with, and listen, there's a place for, like, obviously science dictates that you can't go to failure every week, can you? No. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to go to failure. Like, you're probably going to suffer, all right? So there's a time and a place to have that level of intensity that's the next level. However, 90% of people are never in that category. They think they're training hard, but they're actually not yet. True, like, 2 to 3 reps in reserve for most people is most people's perception of failure.
Yeah.
Like that's not what people think failure is. And but we're in a society now where everyone's trying to be so much optimal and scientifically based.
Yeah.
They've forgotten the roots of like bodybuilding, training, weightlifting, MMA, where it's like, no, this is a fight. It's a fight where we actually work here to build our bodies, but the most important part is the mental side of it, where we're pushing past previous limitations and barriers, and you're not going to do that by staying in your comfort zone of, yeah, that's 2 in reserve, I'm happy with that set, yeah, and every rep looks fucking easy. Fuck that.
I think one of the things I've noticed is like with the people I work with as well, people haven't got a reason to push hard.
Yeah.
Like for me, when I first started training, like I was an angry bastard. Like I had loads of things fueling me. Like I was stupid in school. I was failing my GCSEs. I was going nowhere. I had a bird at the time. I was like 16. He probably cheated on me, so I was fuming on that.
You all do.
Yeah. I was fat. I used to get to the end of school and I'd be like an enraged fucking ball of anger. And I'd go to the gym and just be like, ah. But now you see people are soft, like they've got no fuel, like nothing's going on.
No.
They've been brought up, they've got like no life struggles, like everything's going smooth. So they go to the gym and they're like, I was in Prophecy the other day. I think it was Prophecy. Yeah, it was Prophecy. And I was overhearing 2 lads' conversation. Like Prophecy's amazing gym, it was just 2 random people. And one of them said to his mate, he said, I can't be arsed, you know. And they said, should we just get off? And I felt like going over, I felt like saying, lads, you've got nothing going on. What do you mean? I said, if that was my mate, I'd have been like, get the fuck out.
Fuck off, you little pussy. Fucking...
But that, it clicked then. I thought, is that like what people think?
I think
I was never like that. I got to the gym, I was like, phone off. I was like, fucking gym's getting it.
It's like the best, I'll relate this to fighting, right? The best fighters I know have a healthy amount of trauma. All right?
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? I don't mean
in
in a bad way, but like...
This is why the mindset, it's like, even though you're MMA, you're fighting, and I've come from bodybuilding, the mindset's the same.
It's the exact same. All the principles of bodybuilding transfer over to MMA, and MMA transfer over to bodybuilding. It's just different area. But the thing with it is, like, you look at an oak tree, right? The strongest oak tree. Why do you think it's so fucking strong and big, like in its roots? Because of the winds. The wind helps the oak tree build and get stronger. Okay, without that wind and stress,
resistance,
that oak tree will never grow just potential. So if you put an oak tree where there's very little wind, very little stress, the oak tree's not going to grow or be as strong as it needs to be, because it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be strong.
Yeah.
But with the stress and strain and the challenges and setbacks you get in your life, that is the tool you need to get stronger and better. And I've spoke about this multiple times, and I will continue saying it for the rest of my life. But the obstacle is the way. Like, the stress you're getting right now is what you need to become the person you need to become. And people just don't see it that way. And it's hard when you're in the moment and you're emotional. That's the hardest part about getting over anything in your life. But like, you've got to understand, that's why the gym training is so important, because it will give you that fuel to become a better person. So, I mean, how many times have you seen a guy go for a breakup, go to the gym, get jacked,
This
rich?
is the exact thing that I try and... If I get on a consult and someone says, like, I'm going for a breakup...
Brilliant!
Yes!
You're going to get jacked!
Fuel! Every time I do that, it's like the perfect thing. Like, if I get someone on a consult and there's no pain, I'm like, fucking, you need a reason.
You need trauma. Go and a 3-week bender.
Try
and murder someone, then come back to me.
I had a lad a few weeks ago and he was just like, oh yeah, my bird cheated on me. I was engaged. And I was like, fucking hell. I was like, how does that make you feel? And he was like, he wasn't like angry. He was just like, I'm disappointed in myself because I've let myself go, and I feel like that's why she's left. And I was like, well, isn't this the perfect opportunity? And I said, look, I've got the tools like to get you from here to here. And he was just fired up after that. But that was like the best type of person.
Love it.
What is going off that topic of like pain and like mindset and energy, would you say was one of the darkest moments of your life, and something that whatever was going on at the time with like physical training and that mindset, how did that sort of pull you through it, and how was that a tool that you used?
Fuck, there's been multiple times. Like
whichever one,
majority of my life, but the last one, the last major one, was when I came to the realization I will not fight no more.
Yeah.
And I had so I had a combat. I
Tell me a little bit more about that, yeah.
So I fractured my back in 2016, but at the time I didn't realize it was fractured, okay? I used to train with it, use painkillers, anti-inflammatories, jump into sparring, and not be able to move, and wonder, why am I not able to move? I had sciatic pain down my leg. but I had pressure on myself to fight because I was meant to headline a fight in Germany against Nasrat, who's now in UFC. And it was like, you know, I was starting to get into my own. I was on a winning streak. Every fight was getting better. My skill set was improving. Like, I was performing so well in the gym. And a thing I struggled with in the past was performing in the gym and being able to bring that in the fight night. And finally, I was starting to bring it in the fight night. And then this back injury comes from fucking nowhere. And it was from a wrestling session. And it just never healed. And I got an MRI scan. He told me, look, listen, you fucking fractured your back, spondylolisthesis. And I'm going to butcher that probably, but it's where the powers that connect each vertebrae, it snapped and the spine had moved and it's hitting the nerve now. And you kind of need your back fused to fix it. So it's like, I seen a physio, spent a fortune on physios, and the pretty much told me, build muscle around it. So anyway, I spent like 5 years trying to recover my back to get that one fight. And
how did you do it?
I don't know. I don't even know. I like wrestling. And I
remember a specific moment, or it just happened over time?
I remember a specific moment. I could hear something in my back go. I could hear like a almost like a click.
But it was nothing like significant where you were like, oh, fuck.
No, it wasn't like something you kind of go, or snap back and I'm in pain. It wasn't like that. It was like every day after that was just, I couldn't move my back. Like, it was all of a sudden. And that's the frustrating part about it, because it's also you being in pain, but it's also everyone around you thinking you're faking an injury.
Yeah.
No, I was the type of guy, if I got cut in my eyes, I would super glue it and close it and then crack on sparring. My ear was falling off at the back here, so I taped it up and kept sparring.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Injuries didn't mean anything to me. I don't mind the pain. I don't mind the injury. So for people to turn around and say you're faking an injury, like, that's offensive to me. Like, you couldn't say anything worse to me. I will fight through an injury. I couldn't move. That was the difference. And so, yeah, I spent like 5 years trying to recover it. And I was sparring. Darren Till was in the gym fighting UFC at the time. I was helping him spar for most of his fights. But I had to do one sparring session and take like 2-3 days off to recover.
Yeah, bad.
But like, he was fighting at the highest level. He needed people to help him. So I kind of have sacrificed myself a little bit to help him, which I will do for a teammate, you know, if they deserve it. And then I had a comeback fight in 2021. I thought, I need at least one more fight. I'm going to fight through the pain of this injury. And so I just managed.
Is the pain of it bad while you fighting?
When I'm training, yeah, because you do one day and then you have sciatic pain. You struggle to move.
The recovery's hard as well.
It takes me half an hour to warm up in the mornings to get the pain out of my back, to get a bit of mobility again, to be able to rotate half okay. Then you can train, but then you can feed your performance decline. So you have a lot less energy, you have a lot less movement, and your strength decreases a little bit as the pain gets a little bit more, as you have a little bit more limited movement. And so I managed to get through a fight, can't perform like shit in the fight. I actually nearly won the first round. I knocked him out with a head kick, but I just made a mistake. I was too rusty, and I lost. No excuses. And then I had to retire. At the same time I retired, I broke up with a girl at the time at the same time. It was always the way. Like, it was like, that was never going to work out anyway with her, because she was a lying cunt. But the truth was, like, a lot of shit happened all at one time.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I trained with an old jiu-jitsu coach who was dog shit. Not Colin Heron. Colin Heron, I always trained jiu-jitsu with him. He was amazing. But we had a solo jiu-jitsu coach who was absolute shite. And I was trying to get a black belt off him. I was training with him just to humour him. And he just fucking never gave a black belt, even though I was tapping out all the other students. So there was a lot of things going on at that period of time where it was kind of like...
How old was you then?
31.
31?
31.
How old are you now?
34.
Oh, yeah.
So a few years ago now. And it was a period of life where I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my life after fighting? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was reluctant to coach MMA. I was reluctant to coach clients now, even though I had an online business. I was like, I want to fight. And it took me a while to get over that hump and sort of I think when you're so
fixated on something like that and you go,
yeah,
when that, especially with like years and years and years as well, when that direction changes, like, it's a big fucking, like, it's not easy to just go, oh, okay.
I think it's called the sunk cost fallacy, isn't it? Like, so the more time and effort you invest into something, the less likely you are to stop, even though it seems like you're never going to achieve it. Even though it's like, you're never getting that, but you're still invested in it. And that can be powerful at the start of a journey. So like, someone coming to you and giving you money for a 12-week program, that's a big investment. They're going to stick to it, because now the sunk cost fallacy means they've invested. Now they've paid, they pay attention. See with me, I'd spent so many years training, and now what was it? What's it for? Why have I done it? And it only was like years down the line that I kind of realized, well, my pain is other people's power. Like I should be coaching people how not to make the mistake I made. Don't fucking fracture your back. Don't train 5 times a day. Maybe, get your cuts stitched properly.
So you're trying to be the person now that you needed the most then?
100%. I am like, you're a coach. You want to be the avatar to what your client needed when they were younger. And I want to be that guy to not even just fighters, by the way. It's just young kids who are struggling with themselves and like trying to find some way of finding themselves in the world. Like that is what I needed. I needed someone like that to guide me, to help me, to give me the right advice, to take the correct fights. And I was blessed that I came to Liverpool like later on in my career, but it was too late for me. Like Colin Heron, my MMA coach, was amazing. But for me, I was already injured and fucked when he got me, and he did the best he could.
Looking back now though, like where you're at now and like the people you're helping now and like the sort of direction you've got, do you feel like you're sort of not glad that it happened, but it's sort of dictated the way that you're going now?
The best thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Because it's not as selfish.
Yeah.
Becoming a UFC world champion, whilst it's great, selfish as fuck.
If you want to be good at something, you have to be selfish.
100%. You've got to be. You've got to be. And that's, by the way, that's important. That is, people are needed to be the best in the world at certain things. But that wasn't me. That is not like my end goal. I can see the end goal, and it's not that. I want to impact as many people as possible. I want to show men that, how to be powerful, strong, show them dedication, loyalty, hard work, all these traditional values that don't exist no more. I want to help people with. They don't exist no more because we have no male role models showing them. Like father figures are declining because they're not allowed to see their fucking kids. There's no fathers reaching their kids. The fathers that do exist are sniffing cocaine on weekends and drinking alcohol. They're not role models. You want to be the superhero to your child or to like a student coming into your class. It doesn't fucking exist no more. And that's a more powerful goal for me than becoming a world champion. As nice as that would be, it's selfish and it's not going to impact the world the way.
One thing I've noticed massively, which I didn't really get because I'm 31 now, so when I was younger, I never really got it. But a lot of the lads I work with, especially like if I work with a lad between like 20 and 25, they look up to me like a father figure.
Yeah,
and I've noticed it's because they've got no like sort of like alpha person in their life.
None.
They've got like. Not saying that they're like the dad's not doing a good job, but it's not someone that they look to and be like, oh fucking hell, I want to be like that. It's missing. 100%. And some of the older fellas that I work with, they've missed it younger on.
Yeah.
And they're like, they've not had that push. So when I come in, they're like, fucking hell, this lad's fucking talking up front to me here. Yeah. This is what I need.
Yeah.
So I think as a man, you need someone to sort of tell you straight, point you in the right direction and tell you exactly what you need to know. And if you've not had it before and it's introduced, that's when you start moving forward then.
I've been blessed in that way.
What you said there is as well about like when that happened, your injury and like you accepted, you're like, right, I'm not going to fight again. What was the time period from then until where you were like, right, like what was going through your head when you accepted it? Like, so was there a moment where you were just like, fuck, like depressed down, or was you like, right, I'm going to take action on it?
Completely honest, I didn't dive into this, but it was suicidal. Legitimately suicidal, not scared to a minute. Like I'd never done it, never done anything.
How long was you like that for?
Well, quite a while. Like I'll be honest, like I was at this time, bear in mind, like just in the context, I lived in the back of the gym for 10 years.
Yeah, I seen that post on your thing.
Yeah, like it wasn't just like that was half in, I was just fighting for the fun of it. Like I lived in the back of the gym. I had nothing else to fall back on. And then my career was over. So I felt like, okay. And it wasn't like a pity party, like I'm going to kill myself and everyone's going to I'm going to show everyone. Like, no, it was, I was going to jump in the Irish Sea with a rucksack full of rocks so no one would find my body. I didn't want to get found. And I never did it. And obviously, like, but in the head I thought, right, how can I kill myself with no one finding my body? And I was trying to legitimately find a way so no one would know I did it, because I would be ashamed of it. Like my coach would be fucking ashamed of me if I did that. You know what I mean? Because he's completely against it. But I just didn't see a point in being alive if I wasn't going to fight. Like
no purpose.
My whole life, and my purpose was gone.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get out of that. And I actually took a heroic dose of mushrooms, and that fucking.
You took mushrooms?
I took a heroic dose of mushrooms, 5 grams. Straight away, back to the gym, shoved them in me, and it was one of the best things it did for my mental health at that period of time. Don't recommend it to everyone. People abuse that shit. Probably shouldn't even mention it, but I'm honest. I'm going to be authentic. That was a massive part of me healing.
Really?
Then understanding the message I got was you're being very selfish.
Yeah.
Like you're pretty much your pain is your power. Like the fact that you've gone through all this shit should be your lesson to teach other people. Like don't be so selfish that you expect just to be the best in the world, or you expect to get things your way. Like the way life works out is not your duty. It's not your choice. You know, you can only react to the obstacles and things that come your way. That's the only thing you have control over, is how you react, not the things that happen. And so it took me, I then got my black belt. I stayed in the gym until I got my black belt, which was about 6 months. And I've got my black belt in jiu-jitsu because I didn't have it at the time. So then I knew, okay, I've achieved something for a living here. And then I took a year out from the gym. I didn't go to the gym for a full year.
No training?
Just the weights gym. I did weights, but I didn't go anywhere near MMA.
Yeah,
didn't go anywhere near jiu-jitsu for a year.
I think that was quite refreshing.
Cold turkey. No, it was hard.
Was it?
Brutal. I wanted to fight with everyone. I'd be in JD gym in Warrington trying to fucking snarl people. Honestly, just snarling people, thinking it's just I just wanted to fight. Like it's what I do. I like fighting, and so there's no animosity towards someone. It's just like I'd like to have a fight, and so but I you know, it took a while to get over that. But now I'm at a stage now where it's like, okay, well, it's important that the message is bigger now than just me.
I think though you've got to do things like that to make you realize what you want to do, because that's what sort of happened with me last year, because I've been competing naturally for like 10 years, and that's all I was doing. I was like, right, I'm a natural bodybuilder. I want to make it as far as I can go. And I was like when I trained with you and Marcel, like I was locked in natural. Like that was my mission. Like I want to be the best natural bodybuilder I can be. And then like being 100% honest, like when I did my last natural show, I stepped off stage and I was like, is that it? I was like, is that it?
So many people have that with bodybuilding as
well.
well.
Like all the shows before, like I think it's because I'm older as well. Like the amount of effort that I put in for little return. I was like, I've just been stood on stage for like 5 minutes. Judges didn't even fucking look at me. I got a little plastic trophy, I walked off, and I was like, is that it? And then that's when I took a different turn. And I was like, right, I'm 31. I've done 12 natural shows. I've placed top 3 in all of them. I've won a few of them. I was like, is it time to go on the gear? I was like, I walked off stage and instantly in my head, I was like, it's time.
Time for train.
Oh, the thing is, like, I've always been like hardcore, not like, I'm not against gear at all. I'm not against it. I've just always been a natural bodybuilder because that's just the route that I went down and what I know best.
Of course.
So I just said to myself, I was like, right, you're not getting anything out of natural bodybuilding anymore. You're thinking about going on the gear. Like, you're in the perfect position for a rebound. Like, it's now or never. What are you going to do? And I was like, fuck it. Like, I flipped the switch in my head. I was like, right, I'm going to go back to Dubai. I'm going to set myself up in a gaff. I'm going to train at Benoist. I'm going to rebound off the back end of the show. I'm going to go and I'm going to start a cycle and I'm going to catapult myself and I'm going to go fucking all in on bodybuilding. Yeah. I was like, this is the time. So I got to Dubai, got set up, got everything ready, got all my gear, mapped everything out. And I was like, right, it's time. Then I went to do my first pin. My first pin took me about an hour. I was like going back and forth around the apartment like, fucking hell. I've got a video on my phone where I filmed myself because I knew I'd look back and laugh. Yeah. Anyway, I did it. Well, just for some context first, I didn't just jump straight on cycle. The goal was to go on a TRT dose, get my natural levels up to like 28 nanomole or something because they were low off the back end of prep natural. Yeah. I was about 6 nanomole. I was on my ass because I'd been on stress, under so much stress. Yeah. So the goal was to bring myself up to the high end range. Okay. See how I got on with that, and then use the data from that, from the blood work, and then elevate, and then go on cycle then and make as much progress. Just go into an off season in Dubai and just grow. Yeah. But honestly, like this is why it's such a hot topic for me now, because I had in my head, I'm gonna go in the gear, sound, and I'm just gonna start bodybuilding. I didn't actually understand the process of what it's like. And like people might be watching this now and think, oh, you only had a little bit, you only had a bit of TRT, you're funny. Like when you've been competitive natural bodybuilding for 10 years, moving away from that, which is your identity, it's hard. It's
when you change your identity.
Yeah, and like I as soon as I did that first pin, I was like, fuck,
different person.
I'm not natty, but like, it was different because I thought, hang on, I was like, all these people who follow me and like believe in me, like think I'm natural, like I'm not anymore. Yeah, I lost my identity straight away.
But I think it's called the hedonic treadmill. I believe, and it's like, whilst it isn't a hedonic pleasure per se, kind of actually is. So like you're constantly looking for the next thing. You're a rat racer. You're looking for the next thing. So everyone gets a nice car. Look for, I need a nice can't
I need more speed.
Yeah,
That's me.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah,
Need more
100%. Yeah,
more.
Or like it's like, oh, I've got a nice mansion, need a bigger mansion now.
Yeah.
Like it never ends. And if you don't find happiness in the small, this is like Stoic philosophy that I'm big into. But if you don't find pleasure in like the small things you have now and the small wins, you're never going to be happy with the big goals and the big things. Like
that's what I realized.
I could win a fight. And after, I can guarantee you, it's not even like I won fights, and afterwards I'd be like, that was shit. I'd be like, that was shit. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I didn't do this. My last good performance, not my last fight, but the fight before, I fought Ellis Hampson, who's Paddy Pummett's one of his coaches in Next Gen. Beat him, easy fight. But after the fight, I went back and cleaned the gym. I didn't go out. I went back to the gym. I cleaned the mats and cleaned the mirrors. I was upset with myself. Didn't like it. Didn't like my performance. So no matter what I ever did, like, would never be enough. And if you have that mindset going into either natural body composition or even juiced, it'll be the same thing. Oh yeah, I did the juice competition, but
that's why I realized
you still won't be happy.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to take more juice, and then before you know it, you'll be 40 years old with a heart attack.
That's why people don't realize. The thing is with me, like, before I went on, I said to myself, I was like, right, if it's not for you, pull the plug. I had an escape plan. So the thing that was going through my head was, a lot of people don't admit this. A lot of people don't admit it. And especially like being in Dubai and being around people, like, I know a lot of people experience it and they're too scared to admit it.
Natural.
People are like, there's just people who are doing it and they're not happy.
Yeah.
So what I did was, I got about, I don't know, about 3 weeks in.
Okay.
And I was like, right, I didn't enjoy the process of pinning. I had loads of problems with it. And I just said to myself, I was like, right, when you stepped off stage last time, the way you felt, how would you feel if you had a concoction of drugs and you had to come off? Like, how would that feel? And I was like, I wouldn't feel good. And then I started asking myself those questions. I was like, can you see yourself doing this forever? The answer was no. Well, how would you feel competing again if you were on cycle and you were pushing all of these drugs? Would you feel good? No. The answer was always no. So I just got to a position, I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
I was like, this is not for me. And then I had loads of problems with my shoulders. They blew up and stuff because I had dodgy gear. That's another thing. I had dodgy gear, my shoulders blew up. And everyone was like, oh, it's probably just your first time you're pinning. And I was like, no, I'm doing this right. Like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I sent a picture to my coach at the time. The amazing coach, by the way. And he just said, like, well, you're starting to turn there. And I was like, fuck it, turn into what? Like,
Hulk? Fingers crossed.
But my shoulders went pink and then my ass blew up. And I was like, do you know what? Like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm taking drugs, don't know what they are. Like, I'm not enjoying the pinning process. So I was like, right, I'm just going to stop taking care. Now, this is where it's interesting, and this is where a lot of people relate to what I'm saying. I stopped and my hormones crashed. I went from feeling amazing, right, to feeling like I was horrible. I had no energy, no pump. I went to the gym. I didn't want to train. I couldn't. I was weak. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I'd lost control of the way my physique felt. Like, I couldn't control my performance. I couldn't control how I felt. Couldn't control my mood. I couldn't control anything because I'd put drugs in the mix and I'd ruined everything and I was no longer in control. So that's the first experience where I was like, fuck, like, it's not as easy as just coming off. So I was like, right, I'm going back on. So I went back on, brought myself back up, started feeling normal again. But then I was in this mindset, I was like, fucking hell, like, this is the slippery slope. Like, I'm on the slope. I've come off, I don't feel good. I need to go back on to feel good. I was like, I'm fucking addicted here.
Yeah. It's an
and I was like, right, if this was to happen with more, not for me. So I was like, right, I'm going to pull the plug. I'm going to accept the consequences and I'm going to ride it out, and whatever comes. And I'm going to make sure I get myself off and get myself back to a natural, healthy position like that, no matter how long it takes. And that's what I did, documenting my blood work, got myself back up to that position, which is why I'm sort of on the path now, helping people do that. But that phase that I went through, I know loads of lads go through that and they don't monitor blood work. They don't actually know what's going on, and they're experiencing all of these emotions and highs and lows and, you know, feelings of wanting to go back on, and they don't know a way out, which is why it sort of put me into this position now, because I've monitored blood work and I can see exactly what happened. Hormones went up, hormones went down, crashed, but I don't know exactly what happened there. I know how to bring myself back from it. But a lot of lads don't do that. They just hop on, hop off. Hop on, hop off. And they're wondering why, like, they're so mentally not fucked, but like, I'll chat to a lad and he's like, I'm depressed. I was like, oh, when did you stop taking care? It was like, oh, 8 weeks ago. I'm like, well,
there's your answer.
Where are you at?
How much have you drank? How much drugs have you taken?
This is the thing as well.
What's your sleep cycle? What's your calories at? Are you actually tracking what you're eating? Are you eating enough protein? What's your training sessions like? Are you doing too much? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is the issue because it's the easy variable. Oh, I was on gear. That's the problem. Not all this shit happening lifestyle stuff I've done as well. Like, yeah, okay, the gear's obviously going to affect you. When you come off gear, your test is going to be low. But like the whole reason you need to take that in the first place is because your whole fucking lifestyle was a bag of shit.
The amount of conversations I'm having now with lads in the DMs and that they're taking CRT on their own gear, but they don't even look like they train.
No,
and
90%
it's like
don't.
they're coming back to me asking me questions about nutrition, training, supplements, and stuff like that. I'm like, mate, like you shouldn't be asking me this stuff now. You should have mastered this before you even considered taking that. Like you're doing this backwards. Like you've put nitrous in the tank before you've even got the wheels on the car. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah, it's like anything in life, though. You want to like, you almost want to like take as much juice from every little area as you can.
Yeah,
you mean squeeze that juice from every area? Because it's like if you're think of MMA, for example, you're an amateur MMA fighter. You don't want to be going to pro in your second fight. That's just, I can relate this because this is something I did. I went straight to pro. I didn't have an amateur career. Like technically I had semi-pro fights, but they all got recorded as pro. So long on my pro record. So, and then fights I've had weren't even recorded at all and don't exist apparently. And I've never had them apparently because they're not on the record on the internet. So you've got to like, with anything, so whether you're an MMA fighter, to have as many amateur fights as you can and use the competitions before you step up the pro ranks because there's no stepping back. The same thing applies to bodybuilding. Be as natural as possible. Maximize your natural potential. And then if you do want to compete and you think it's worth the squeeze, then okay, you go on to
that's what people don't do.
But like, as you say, maximizing your natural range of testosterone first before you go into anything, because if it's not at the max range you can get, you're just fucking wasting time. Because
what people don't realize is like, someone will message me and say, Jay, I've got low test.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Have you run any blood work? And it'll go one way or the other. Like, yeah, I've run blood work. My test is low. Or no, I've run any blood work.
Yeah.
But I'm like, right, okay, do you mind if I ask you a few questions first? Because, you know, we don't know anything about them.
Of course.
The nutrition shit. Training shit. They're not sleeping. I'll go through their Instagram that they're drinking alcohol every other weekend. And you can just tell by looking at someone, the lifestyle that they live. And I'm like, hang on, like, have you actually tried putting all of these areas up to 100% and then seeing where your testosterones are? Yeah. No, I just want to hop on. It's like, it's not... You can't do that.
Not the right mindset. It's just a lazy fuck. You're just a lazy fuck. It's what you want. You want a magic pill, and steroids seem to be like the magic pill for a lot of people. That's why I've been blessed to fight in the MMA world, where like there is drug testing that not at a lower level there isn't, and it's fucking abused. But like luckily you can't get away with that shit at the highest level, and like the cream always rises to the top of the crop. So
I think like one of the biggest things now is like a lot of people think that you can just get a quick fix for anything.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to graft, no one wants to get things like
anything.
Most like, are you 34 now?
34.
So you probably know like most lads that you know who aren't training, like that you know around your circle who are 30 plus. Yep. If they're not training right now,
they're not at my circle no more. I won't associate people who don't train like that. No offense to if I offend anyone, but they won't spend time
because
with
it's not
me.
relatable anymore. Because when you're like an athlete and you've got that like motivated mindset and you're driven and stuff, it actually scares those people off.
100%.
Well, like you can have a conversation with them and it's nothing clicks.
100%, but it's not even that. Just Jade, like even if they did want to be around me because I'm a fighter and people love being around fighters and stuff like that, and you're jumping on your coattails, I won't spend time with them because your environment dictates your success. You're average to the people you're around most. And like we just spoke about training. Like if I'm going into your training system, I've been hanging around some fucking cunt who's a fat lazy cunt telling me he hates his life. I'm not gonna have the energy. I don't want to be around you, mate. Fuck off. You're a fucking energy killer. You're a piece of shit. I don't want to be around you. If you want a shit life, limp dick and a fucking missus who's a fat cunt with 2 ugly kids, go and have it. That's your life. It's not my life. I don't want that fucking life. That's you.
That's not for me.
And like, you know what I mean? So it's like, look at, here's how I read. I was reading this actually last night, and Michael Phelps, right? Okay. So Michael Phelps, do you reckon if Michael Phelps started smoking and drinking, how do you think his performance would go? Fucking go skyrocket down. Say he had one cigarette, do you think that would affect his performance? Yeah, it would. That would make a massive performance. Now, the average Joe, that doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make fuck all difference. But when you're competing at a high level or you're trying to be at a high level, that makes a massive fucking difference. The small variables matter, even if it's just smoke a cigarette. You know yourself, your testosterone is going to raise massively based on little small things you do with yourself. And that's why people come to you for coaching, because you have the insight of the small details that people overlook. And you need a coach to do that, and only you can do that. And it's the same when you're at anything at a high level. Like when I coach athletes and they're trained for fights, they will not see the small details that need to be hit. But it's all right for your average fucking Joe to get away with it. But that's why I can't hang around and be around an average fucking Joe, because they will look at my lifestyle and go, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
Like I try and train 3 times a day still. Oh, you're going too much. You've got to fracture your back. Oh, that, what, you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that. Like, you don't understand my life and what I need to do. I want to perform at a high level. I still want to be able to spar with pro fighters and roll with at a high level with world champions. Yet I have a fractured back. I have to have everything in line. If I don't, I will fail. And most people can't relate to that. And like the environment.
That's why I go to Dubai. That's why I'm going back next week. Like this is home. But like after I've been here for a little bit, like there's just nothing going on.
No.
And then like if I'll have a conversation with someone and don't even have a fucking clue what I'm talking about. I'll be talking about training and talking about business, like, or I want to do certain things, and everyone here. It's not that like people here are just like sort of settled and are like, it is what it is, which is fine if that's the lifestyle you want to live. But I don't want to live that. When you go to Dubai, like all my mates are there, everyone's doing the same shit, everyone's on the same mission. I can go out and have a coffee and have a conversation about something. There's loads to talk about because everyone's doing the same shit.
Yeah.
So when I'm here, it's draining. I wake up like it's silent. I go to the gym, like everyone's just like
it's
mellow.
Just lower energy, isn't it?
Yes, and then I'll go back to Dubai and it's like right back on it. Everyone's fucking on it. So like that's why I have to go back and sort of put myself in that environment, because I know, even though I love home and this is where I'm from, like all my family's here, everything, love it, love coming back seeing them. If I was to stay here, I'll stay at that level because there's no one to like push me.
100%.
I would just stay the same. If I was to stay in Runcorn, I would go to gym, I would coach my clients online, I would PT, maybe go on 1 or 2 holidays a year. I would get a house to settle down, and then that'd be it. And that fucking terrifies me. It's not for me.
Yeah. Well, it's an old African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
So I'm going on my own actually.
Like, it's just like, but you're going over there to find a team to go further. And it's like Mr. Beast spoke about this when they started. They had a group of guys together who all did their content together, who all tried growing and learning off each other, because you're getting the group together around one person to develop and improve and upgrade. And it's the same with business, same with training. Like we spoke about our training sessions and the energy in training sessions. When you're with people who have that same energy, the same applies to business. The same applies to any aspect of your life. Your environment will dictate how far and where you go, but people don't see it because it's kind of like it becomes unconscious part of the brain where it's like, oh, they're just my mates. I love them. And like, you don't realize they're holding you back. Them fuckwits that drink and smoke every weekend, or the reason why you have the shit physique you have, because they're telling you to come out and sniff a load of coke and drink alcohol and shag a load of brasses.
Well,
and
that's the point you got to me when I was like 20. Before I left for Dubai for the first time, like I went to the pub to sort of like see everyone and just be like sort of see in a bit. But I got to, I stood in the middle and I looked around and I was like, this is not me, this. But when I was younger, I'd go and I'd be like, yeah, I get it, because I was young. But as you grow up, like, I think there's a shift, isn't there? Is that where people stay in that rut, keep drinking on the weekend, they keep going on the booze, and they're in that rotation. And then I got to a point where I was just like, I spotted the pattern.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I looked around at people who were like 10 years older than me, 15 years older than me, and I thought, that's what I look like. And I just sat there at the end of the bar like, and I thought,
there's nothing more depressing than that.
No,
like,
that's why I brought myself away from it. But coming back to the topic of like being like motivated and driven and stuff, one thing I always say is like, someone says to me they got low energy. Sometimes people can look at me, right, and they'll question me. And they'll say like, "Oh, you've just got naturally high testosterone. You're just motivated. You've got it." And I'm like, "What have I got that you haven't?"
Yeah.
And then they're just like, "Oh, you've just been doing this for years." And I'm like, "No. You're telling me you've got low energy. You've got low test." And I was like, "But look at my habits compared to yours.
Yeah.
I'm the way I am because the way I live.
Yeah.
I train hard and heavy every single day. My nutrition is on point. I don't miss it. I'm hydrated. I get 8 hours sleep. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs." I was like, that's why I'm the way I am. And that's why you're the way you are. I haven't got something that you've not got. I just put in the work. So that's why like, when I work with someone now, I tell them, I'm like, look, like, there's no secret. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. And when you do it, your hormones will improve. You will be motivated. You will become the man you want to be. Like, it literally is that easy.
But I want it now, Jay. I want it now, and that's the problem. People like, I want it now. Like, people don't understand the amount of patience and time it takes.
But the people who want it now, right, and they take the fast track, will pay for it later because they'll realize that the fast track isn't the answer. And the habits that they've got in place, they still need to work on.
100%. And
So when they get to that
solutions in gear.
position and they're like, hang on, no, I'm taking this gear, I'm taking that, I've took the fast track option, but I still look like a sack of shit.
100%, yeah.
Then you've got to go right back to basics and you've got to start from scratch. So you might spend a year. It's like fucking tuning a car. Oh, I want to tune it fast. I don't care about all the internals and stuff. Make it fast. It's gonna blow up. You're gonna have to go back and you're gonna have to build it again. And you're gonna have to do it properly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like anything. Like you hit the nail on the head there. Like as far as it's instant gratification now. Because we've got social media now that gives everything straight away. You've got Deliveroo that gives you food straight away. Do you know what I mean? You've got an Uber, so you can go wherever you want. Everything's like that now. Like it's that, so easy to get everything now.
In Dubai, I got food and gear delivered.
You can get like that. But it's ridiculous now where people just don't have to have patience or restraint. And we go back full circle. His traditional values are lost with hard work, patience, and fucking taking your time and taking the hard route. Do you know what I mean? Rather than taking the easy route, which is just fucking, blast. I think people.
I think I'm the way I am because when of Body FX, that's the way I'm. The way I am. Like a lot of people might get into training, they might start training in a commercial gym, and like that's just where they start. So they start from that soft environment. Like when I started training at Body FX, like it was rough.
100%. I when I was a kid, I trained in a multiple gyms. So Chum's the first ever MMA gym I trained at. I had an old school weights gym, but I also trained at a place called Beachmount Health Club, which is in a place called RPG Avenue in Falls Road in Belfast. Yeah, it's like a proper old school weights gym.
I don't know where I've heard that before, but I've definitely heard that, yeah.
Beachmount Health Club was like a guy called George McGuinness I used to do powerlifting with, and he showed me how to powerlift. Brilliant guy, rest his soul, he's dead now. And but I also used to train the opposite side of the track. So obviously Belfast is Protestant Catholic. I trained the opposite end of tracks as well, which was the Peace Wall, the opposite side of the Peace Wall, should I say, which was Shankle Barbell, which was a load of strong men and just old, but they were both old school gyms, had the same values of working hard, shutting your fucking mouth and getting your work done, not fucking videoing yourself and being a little cunt, and old school values that like last you for the rest of your life.
That's the important. That the simple shit like that though is what like that. For example, when I started training at Body FX, I'd go up. Have you been in Body FX?
No, never.
So you used to walk up these stairs and they were terrifying. And I used to walk up the stairs and I'm like, fucking hell, I could hear all the weights clanging and stuff. And I remember the first time I went, I was like, oh my fucking God, this is terrifying. Bodybuilder gym, I could hear people screaming, shouting. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. I went in the gym. And then the first thing you have to do was put your phone in a cup.
Love it.
Which like now you would never ever see. Yeah. But then it was like, right, if you're going to train, you get a cup, you put your phone in, you put your keys in, you go and you train and you come out. And that's how it's done. And at the time, there used to be a glass window. So whoever was at the bar could see who was training. Okay. And at the time, Davey used to train me. I'd put my phone in the cup, I'd go in and train, and Dave would be sat at the glass window. And if I was doing something shit, he'd be tapping on the window with a pin. And he'd be like pointing at me. And if I wasn't training hard enough, he'd come in and he'd beast me. And it just got harder and harder and started training with him. But like, I used to go to the gym with the mentality of like, right, I'm going to go and I'm going to war here. My phone's going there, it's off. Yeah. And I fucking loved it. But that's what sort of molded me and got me to, I never forget, like, there was one day where I was about 16 and I came upstairs and Dave gave me this letter and it was for downstairs. I don't know what it was for. But he said, go and give this downstairs. And I remember downstairs was dead intimidating because it was a kebab house. And it was just like, I was a young lad and it was all these men inside there. And I was like, fucking hell. I said, Dave, I can't go down there. And he went, are you fucking mad?
I can't go down there, Dave. I'm racist. I don't like Turkish people.
He went, don't be a fucking pussy. He went, go down there now and give them that letter. It's like, have you seen the size of you? And then I was like, fucking hell. And from there, I was like, wow, like, getting more confident. Yeah,
it's the life lessons you learn from gyms, though. People don't realize.
If he wouldn't have said that to me, I would have always had that mentality of I'm not going in there.
100%, and that would have multiplied.
That would have. I'd still have that issue now.
It would have been worse now.
I wouldn't have addressed it young.
Yeah, because you would have like.
I'd have always been the person that's like, I'm not going to go in there. But now, like,
well, anytime a bad situation would have went up, you would have went back to that time and went, oh, I didn't do it then, so I won't do it now. And it multiplies in your head. It multiplies in your head. It gets worse and worse, and you get less and less confidence. And I spoke about this the other day to the lads in the gym in my class. But MMA and even weights, is a Trojan horse. And what Trojan horse was back in the story of like Troy and all that. It was like a big horse with an army in it, but it was like a present. And inside the castle, they broke out because they thought it was a present. And it took over the castle. And for the viewers who don't know what that story is, but that's the same with doing weights. You go in the gym, you're angry, you want to get jacked. You do MMA, you want to hurt another man. You just want to fucking fight. But then in the process, you learn self-confidence, how to speak to other people, how to have banter, loyalty, hard work. You learn determination, setting goals,
patience as well.
Like patience. You know, you learn about how you self-sabotage yourself. You learn about all these beautiful little traits that are lost a lot now because people just don't engage in that sort of area. They're not getting taught. And it's also up to us as coaches and the people in the gym to kind of teach them lessons as well, though. Like back in the day, you had the old school fellas who used to go in and used to be like your father figure and say, listen, you little cunt, don't fucking do that again. And they'd give you a slap if you spoke out of line.
I had more bruises.
100%. Like, look, back in the day when I first went to Colin, you were shit scared of Colin. You were shit scared of him. Like, I was scared of him to death. Wasn't scared of any other man, but I was shit scared of him, and I'm not scared still to this day.
He sounds like a similar figure to what Dave was.
100%. He was like a father figure, but it still is. But like, it's the reason why I'm so loyal to Colin Lowe is because of like he's giving you his knowledge, he's giving you all the stuff he learnt, but he's not really charging you for it. He's just kind of giving it.
That's what Dave was like. Free, didn't charge.
So you owe him loyalty in return, and like, but a lot of people fucking step over them and become cunts just when they get signed to UFC and think they're making a bit of money and, you know, pretend their dad's the reason why they're successful when their dad can't fight. But like the whole thing with this is like, it's important we have them role models in gyms that they still exist. I want to be that guy in the gym that helps people. Do you know what I mean? That's up to us.
I want to be that person. Yeah, I think both of us, because of the background we've got, we need to be that person that we needed the most then. Because back then I had Dave.
Yeah.
Now there is no Dave.
Where's Dave? Dave's gone.
Well, Dave passed away.
Dave passed away
3 years ago. Okay. Dave passed away about 3 years ago. Yeah, but when Dave passed away, like a lot of people watching this now will realize as well, like, there was a big shift in the gym. Everyone's like, "Fucking hell, Dave's gone."
Yeah, the energy.
Well, he started having dementia, so he started like flaking off from the gym.
Okay.
Like, I used to give him a lift home a few times and stuff. And then when Dave went, like the spirit of Dave went, because you used to go to the gym and you'd be like, "Fucking hell, is Dave in? Oh my God." Do you know what I mean? But when he passed, it's like he's not there. So like when I work with people online now, I want to make sure that I'm like the Dave. So when they check in, I'm like, fucking, you train like a pussy, yeah, come on. And be that person. 100%. Like that's the vibe that all my clients are sort of getting. It's tough love. Yeah.
People don't realize, like, people, because we're in a
you need tough love. Like I remember Dave hit me once. He pulled me to one side and he said, "Fucking hell, Jay." He's like, "I hit you hard then." He went, "Don't tell your mum." And then I came in the next day and I was black and blue and he's like, "Oh, fucking hell." He went, "That's bad, didn't it?" And he went, punch me again.
But that's the way, that's the old school mentality, but people don't realise it's not just
that happen now, like.
But that's the masculine mentality. We're in a feminized world now. People don't realise that. We're getting more and more feminized, whether you know it or not. And masculinity's being put down. It's like why, you know, toxic masculinity is a word. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. It's just you're a dickhead or you're masculine. There's no toxic masculinity. And the reason why that is because
a simp.
Yeah, you simp and all this. We have cocks now exist. Yeah, fucking people don't know what gender they are. Like the whole world's gone to fuck because we don't have these masculine role models that are teaching men how to be men, because it's being told like that they shouldn't be a man, that they should be ashamed to be a man, that they shouldn't want to be a man. Like, no, men have built the roads. Your fucking grandfathers fought in the war with a ciggy in his mouth and had a fucking full English breakfast and said, "Come on, the fuck Germans, let's have a go." Like that was your grandfather, but now we're scared to go outside because of a fucking flu. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck's wrong with people these days? Like, get your fucking shit together. But it's up to men to take the stand on these things, because that's the masculine role in life, is to lead, whether people know it or not. I'm probably going to get hate off a lot of women. There's a lot of women that lead as well, and there's a lot of women who can be masculine as well, by the way. Just because I say masculine and feminine doesn't mean a gender per se. There's a lot of masculine females, but there's also a lot of feminine men. But we need masculine men who are going to lead and take the role as a leader, and in the gym tell people, "You're a little cunt there, step it up the fuck." We don't have pussies in this gym. Like, I'll happily tell someone if they're being a lazy fucktard in the gym, and if they don't like it, fine. And if they take offense to it and they want to have a fight, they can have a fight.
That's what I want to do now. I want to sort of build the problem we've got right now. It's not a problem. It's just something that is happening right now. Like, the communities and gyms and stuff like that, like they're fading out, and more things are moving online. Like, if I want to help more people, it's going to have to be online. So it's about creating that community with people online and getting them to feel that sort of vibe that you're speaking about there through online. Like if someone comes in and like, fucking hell, like I'm part of this thing here, like, you know, this my coach is pushing me, all these other men are smashing it, they've got all of the answers and sort of stuff. Because with social media and stuff now, like as you probably know, a lot of people can lock themselves off. So they might stay at home, they might see the bird, they might see the mum, they might see the kid. They don't see anyone else. And then they see all this shit on social media, and they're not actually part of anything. They don't go to a gym, they're not part of a community. And if they go to the gym, they might feel a little bit awkward. You know what I mean? So it's good to be in like that circle. But on the topic of social media as well, one thing I've done, I don't know if you feel it as well, off the back end of, I think that being in Dubai and following the people that I followed in Dubai, following the people that I followed like through my bodybuilding journey, sort of dictated me that I wanted to go down that bodybuilding route because it was what I was seeing all the time. I've been seeing like Regan Grimes, like Dorian Yates, Jay Cutler, like all the big dogs, and I'm like, fucking hell, like small. So I'd see that, do you know what I mean? So what I've actually done is off the experience that I had, I unfollowed everyone. I unfollowed all the bodybuilders that I'm never going to look like because I'm not assisted. I unfollowed them all. Anyone that I don't relate to, I unfollowed. Any content that I seen and thought, made me feel a bit shit, that unfollowed, muted. I've muted thousands of people now. I still follow people, but I've muted them. And I don't see anything. So when I go on my page now, it's motivational stuff, cars, food, and it makes me feel good.
You've controlled your environment.
That's one thing I've been pushing hard on clients. I'm like, look, if you're like following all these people and you're aspiring to look like that, but you're not willing to take gear and you're not willing to go down that sort of route, you need to realign that because it's gonna fuck with you.
Reality check.
Sometimes I get lads on a call and I'll say like, what's your dream physique? What do you want to look like?
Chris Bumstead.
Chris Bumstead, exactly.
Like, what?
Chris Bumstead.
You're never going to look like that, you cunt.
Massive name in the industry, used for all types of marketing now. He's like the pinnacle, classic physique, Mr. Olympia. Young lads come to me, I want to look like Sebum. I want to look like Sam Sulek. I'm like, okay, do you understand like the process behind that? And they're like, no. I'm like, you've potentially like ruined the next 10 years working for something you're never gonna get.
At the same time, I love that ambition, though. And that's the thing.
Oh,
like,
I love
it's an impossible goal, but people need to be
People need to make the decision.
They need you to keep them realistic. But like, listen, I love your fucking goal. Fucking fantastic. Let's do it together. But I need commitment from you. And the thing is, as I talk about the sunk cost fallacy, is like, the more you invest in this, the more it's going to be harder to give up, even though you may never achieve it. And you've got to realize that you may never achieve this goal, but the act of stepping towards that goal will mean you get to achieve your full potential. And that's why the reason why I'm passionate about that is because like, I was never going to be UFC world champion. In my head, I thought it was going to be low because I put everything into it and I crossed every little aspect I could. There was no stone left unturned. But the reason why I'm happy now on the back end of it, because I know I done everything I fucking could.
And as long as you know you've emptied the tank.
And then
I was the same.
100%.
Yeah, with competing.
You could be happy and step away from it and kind of go, okay, well, I didn't get what I needed there. But in the process, look who I became. So this was the road I was expected to go in, but I ended up going down this road, and this road's even better.
That was the same with me. That last show, not the last show I did was 2 Bros, but the one before that was UK DFB, the finals.
Okay.
I didn't miss anything. Like there was nothing I look back at. I should have done that better. I did nutrition, train, everything was perfect. I fucking grafted. Like I emptied the tank. I could not have done it anymore. And then when I was backstage, the lad who beat me, he was massive. And I was like, I will never beat this guy. And it fucked with me. I was like, I came here with the mentality that I'm going to win because I couldn't have done any more. And I thought, I will never ever beat this guy. It was just like,
it's you versus you as well, though.
That's the thing that I realized.
And that's a better win.
When I
you beat your demons.
Yeah,
you
after I processed it, I was like, hang on. I was like, look how much fucking graft you put in there.
Yeah.
And look what you can do now off the back end. I was like, winning the show didn't mean fuck all. Like, even if I would have won, so what?
Who gives a fuck? It's about you achieving your max potential. Look, listen, bodybuilding's fucking hard because you're going in with people who are naturally born with slim waists and small fucking
bodybuilding.
Joints.
I heard this the other day. You either got it or you haven't, or you've got it a bit.
Like a lot of people speak about this. Victor Black spoke about this. Like, if you don't have the genetics, like, just don't fucking do it. Just
unless you've got like,
do you enjoy it?
There's a few lads I've met, and I've coached. There's a lad I coached, Jack, as well. Probably laugh at watching it. There's a lad I coached, Jack. He's just got it. I coached him once.
Lucky
You've
bastard.
probably seen. I coached him once.
Team of fighters.
got
Same
him on
fighter.
stage. He looked unbelievable, and I said to him, "I was like, fucking hell, Jack, like you can go far with this, you know." He's just not interested.
100%. Same with fighters. It's
You've either got it or you haven't, and then there's some people that I've got it a bit, but you just know they're just not going to take it to that place. But I accepted that with me. I was like, I've got a good physique, but I don't think I've got like take it to that level. And as soon as I accepted that, I was like, okay.
yeah, but you're going to be the best version of you, and that makes you a better coach because you have the insights from that as well. Like the best coaches aren't the best athletes.
No,
they
it's
never
true.
are. It's not meant to
The
be.
best
either.
coaches are the people that have, like when I was working with Cal competed, but he didn't want to do it. He's a better coach. And I'm an amazing coach.
Yeah, I got amazing, really good. It's like, listen, there's a lot of people who are good fighters and good coaches as well. There is exceptions, but on the most part, the best coaches aren't the best athletes, and like
because it takes so much.
And you've either got it, you don't. Like fighting, for example, like Keenan Loughren fighting in UFC next weekend. He fucking has it. Like technically, you look at him, probably not the best fighter in the world if you looked at him technically. Mindset wise, there's no one on the earth who has his mindset. There's not a man alive who has that kid's mindset. Unfucking believable. He's an inspiration. And it's like one of the things, you either have it or you don't. And the beauty of MMA, however, is it's very technical and skill based. It's not based upon just an appearance with your genetics. That's why I like it, because you have variables there where you can control it. And that's why I spent so long doing it, because I was trying to like upgrade each area of skill and to become the best I could be. But bodybuilding, you're kind of limited with it, where like you kind of need someone like you to keep them accountable, kind of from an outside viewpoint, kind of say, listen, you need to change this aspect, or maybe just you don't have it for that perspective of competing. And that's bodybuilding's hard in that respect.
I think it's the same with you. Like when we first trained together, like if you train with someone, you know, it takes one. I'll train with someone and it'll take one session, and I'll know if they've got it or not.
Yeah,
they've either got that fire inside or they haven't. Like you push them to that place, and if you see that they don't switch on and they can't take it, like instantly,
fuck off, go straight with someone else.
If I get I'll ask a client for a form clip or an intensity clip, I call it, so I can see how hard they're actually pushing. Yeah. And if they send it back, I'm like, look, like do that again, but I want you to think about like back to this moment of your life and then put that into the set.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll send me a clip back and it's like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
But sometimes if they send one back and they've not changed, I'm like, look, like unless you can switch on, like nothing is going to change.
It's hard to coach that as well.
I was like, you've got the nutrition, you've got the training, you've got me as your coach, you've got everything you need. I was like, but you've not got that thing inside because you're not switching on. And as soon as I see that in a clip, like that's the point where things change. That
I don't get that. Like I spoke about this the other day. I hope you don't mind me saying this, because I'm fucking repeating something I said in the reel. But it's like, when I die someday, I am going to have to meet my creator, and I believe there's a God. I believe in God. But even if you're not religious, you're going to meet something that's going to look at you and kind of go, okay, this is what you achieved in your lifetime, and this is what your potential could have been.
Yeah.
And every day I try and hit the variables so I can reach that potential. And if I don't see my potential, there's this big massive gap in between. And he turns around to me and says, whatever this entity is, says, listen, why is there such a big gap there? I give you so much potential. I give you all the stress to make you better. I give you all the challenges to make you stronger. I give you all the setbacks so you could learn from them. And you squandered it. And in response, you fucking didn't achieve what you wanted, and you had a subpar life. Whereas I want to be right here where like you fucking achieved everything. Remember that setback I gave you back when you were a kid? Well, that's why this happened. And you see that stress you had, that's to make you stronger for this event later on down your life. And it's like a puzzle that will all make sense in the end. But if you're not able to fucking grind in them hard, it starts in the hard sets. That's what people don't realize. Like, that's why I'm relating to this. When you grind in them hard sets, you're maximizing your potential and you're leaving no variable on the table where like you're going to end up the best version of you. And it starts in the gym. And not everyone might want an amazing physique. But that same mindset of being able to push yourself to the limit in that one hard set is the same mindset you're going to have when you're on a sales call and you want to quit, or you're fucking running up a fucking hill, or maybe you're a firefighter trying to save someone out of a building, or you're, whatever is your job. That same mindset applies anywhere in your life, putting 100% in, because most people do not know how to put 100% in, because it's a natural human response to hold back because of the fear of getting exhausted, fear of dying. But you have to be able, the modern world, we're quite safe. You should be able to push past that level and go to the next level, ideally. And most people just can't do that. And that's why they need a coach like you.
This is what people don't understand. People say they want more, they want to be a better man, they want to be motivated, they want to get certain things done, they want to start this, they want to start that. But if they're not training, they don't understand the importance that has. if your nutrition's in place, you smash your training sessions, you do your cardio fasted early in the morning, you do everything, you finish the day feeling like accomplished. You're like, fucking
your
hell.
bird's getting shagged everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're like,
but on the other hand, you train like shit, you eat like shit, and you go home, you get no sleep. Your bird's your bird's leaving you. Do you know what I mean? Like, no wonder you're single. So it's like, but it relates. I'm saying about birds, like, but like, it relates anywhere in your life, though. If you're not putting 100% in, no fucking wonder. No fucking wonder. You don't know how to push yourself. You don't deserve fucking shit.
You can't go through the day, not train, not look after your nutrition, go home and feel like shit and put on a good performance in the bedroom. No, you're not going to go home and be like, I feel great. You're getting it tonight. Do you know what I mean?
This is like the last 30 seconds anyway, Jay, let's be honest. So, best 30 seconds of their life flow. But no, it's 100% true. It's like, if you want to it's any area of your life. It's not just bedroom. It's like fucking any area of your life. If you want to perform at your best, you have to be able to put 100% in. And if you're not willing to put 100% in, then don't have that goal to have a great life. Like, just be happy being a loser. Be happy being a cunt.
Everyone I've met, like, along the way, like in Dubai and Marbella, like all these places I've been, like all people you'd look up to, they were like smashing it. They'll give it 100%. They'll train.
Yep.
They'll look after their nutrition, and they're all in shape. All of them. I've not met one person who's out of shape and been like, "How the fuck have you done that?"
Yeah.
They're all on it.
Yeah.
All of, whether they're bigger, whether they're slimmer, whether it's like fitness, high rocks, training, whatever it is, they're at the peak of doing something.
Yeah.
Every time. I've never met one person and been like, "Oh, you don't train. How did you do that?"
Yeah,
never.
100%. The success leaves clues, doesn't it? And the clues are there. You're all being told: sleep right, eat right, get your right nutrition, hire a coach, do self-development, wake up early, go to bed at night early.
People don't do it.
It's like, but people still don't do it. And look
people
for the next
solution.
People
still be scrolling on TikTok at 2 in the morning.
I suppose train's the answer. Then it's like, I don't think that's the answer, mate. I think the answer
for some people it is though.
Like, you know,
I've spoke to lads in the DMs yet, and they're like, they say, "I'm on the gear." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, sound like, what are you running?" And I say, like, 600 makes a test. I'm on like trend. Okay, how long have you been on that for? 3 years.
Wow.
I was like, send some progress shots
like
to see what you look like. It's just like
the average Joe
a balloon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. But the thing is, like, that's just not one case. Like, that's a lot of people.
Oh, 100%. More people than you probably realize.
I'll never forget, I did a consultation once in Body FX. And it was with a fella. I won't name names. We probably won't even watch this anyway. He's not on social media.
Go on, name him.
He said, he did a consult, and he said he won the game. He's just like, yeah. And I was like, how long have you been on it for? And he's like, probably about 10 years. And I was like, how much? He's like, probably just about 500. I'm old school, me.
500 milligrams of test and shut your fucking mouth. That was the old school mentality of gear. Like, 500 milligrams, shut your fucking mouth, jump in the fucking, no, fuck.
Well, I looked at him and I was just, at the time I was only a young lad. I didn't want to offend them. I was like, you don't look that great. Do you know what I mean? But it happens, mate. It happens. I think one thing I want to make my mission now is, one thing I want to make clear is as well, like, I'm not against gear at all.
No.
At all. Like, I'm in the bodybuilding game. I love it. I appreciate it. Like, massive respect for it. The journey I went through has just made it crystal clear for me that I know what I'm good at. My background is natural. I know how to get my testosterone levels up. 100%. I know how to perform at natural level. That's what I'm good at. So I don't need to go down that other avenue. Why do I want to go down a route that I'm not educated on?
No.
I can help lads from my experience. Do you know what I mean? That's just made that a little bit clearer for me. I think that's like bringing on to that. I think the final point is, I know what my mission is. Like, I've never felt like clearer on like what I want to do. I know who I want to help. I know the people I want to work with. My mission's very clear. I know exactly what I want to do. So my days are super easy now. So what is it you want to do? Because I've noticed your content shift a little bit over like the last 3-4 months.
Yeah.
So what's your sort of like 6-month, 12-month long-term mission?
I just want to help as many fighters and hobbyists maximize their performance.
So when you say hobbyists, it's just people who enjoy fighting but don't want to fight.
Fighting but don't actually compete. Yeah, like
same bodybuilding. People who want to train but don't want to compete.
I just want them to maximize their performance, whether it's on the mats or in live in the cage, or indeed it's just like being able to defend themselves and their family in all areas. And I want them to develop their mindset, their strength and power, and their strength and conditioning, and all the skill areas that they might neglect in the gym. Because I was one of them people that, you know, I early on in my career, I didn't have the greatest coaches, like really early before I moved to Liverpool and trained a team cab on. I was self-coached quite a lot. I used to watch a lot of instructionals and drill a lot of stuff, and I didn't have the coaches I needed. And I want to be that guy where, like, no matter what gym you're in, wherever you are in the world, I want to be there to help you and make you maximize your potential, because I wasted a lot of years just not learning and not doing what I should have done. And I'm very blessed now where, I have the skill set after dedicating myself for so long, and I'm around a great coaching team, a team cap. On Colin's the best coach in the world, in my opinion. So I'm very blessed. So yeah, I really want to help as many men as possible maximize their performance.
Nice, man. Nice. I think that's a good spot to finish. No problem. I enjoyed it. That was good, man.